Hi, today is May 13th, 2025. Here are my poems for the day. The first one is poem number 737 for the year, The Monty Hall Problem. The three doors side by side that I saw in the subway station reminded me of the Monty Hall problem. I'm glad that I know enough that if a game show host were to come along and tell me that there was $1 million behind one of the three doors, and then asked me to pick a door, and then I picked, say, the one on the left, and then the game show host opened the center door to reveal that there was a bucket of pig slop behind the door, and then asked me if I wanted to change my guess to the door on the right, I would change my guess. I am aware that if I were to stick with the door on the left, I would only have a 1 out of 3 chance of winning, but if I were to choose the door on the right, but if I were to switch to the door on the right, I would have a 2 out of 3 chance of winning. I know this is true, even though I don't and may never understand why. Poem number 738, The Choice. The choice brought misery wherever it went. People would get all bent out of shape as they hemmed and hawed and considered the alternatives. If only it was damned if I do and damned if I don't, then it wouldn't make a difference, one of those faced with the choice said. But instead I know there is an optimal option. I just don't know which one it is. Those confronted with the choice are facing a dilemma. I, fortunately, am not one of them. I don't have to choose. I can leave the choice right where it is. I can abstain and leave the choice. I can leave the choice unchosen. Poem number 739, The Chance. The chance liked to live on the edge, in that sweet spot between safety and danger, between prudence and risk. Sometimes the chance would lay there like an open invitation, waiting to be taken. Other times the chance would take itself and experience the masturbatory bliss that only it could give to itself. Sometimes the chance is given, sometimes it is taken, sometimes it is left there on the table. The chance never feels rejected. It knows that someone will come along eventually and take it, like it likes to be taken. Maybe someday you will take the chance, and you may experience an ecstasy you have never known. Poem number 740, The Dance. The dance moved from one end of the floor to the other, side to side, up, down, and all around. The dance dazzled and sparkled and dipped and twirled. The dance was so light on its feet it appeared to be hovering or floating. The dance glided like an ocean liner across a tranquil sea, and then it tangoed and fox-trotted and lindy-hopped and tapped, and finally the dance cake-walked and walked off with the cake. The dance really took the cake. I don't know if the dance ate the cake. I've never heard of a dance eating a cake. And if it didn't, and if it's vegan, I would have some of that cake. Poem number 741, The Jig. The jig was up and it knew it. The jig tried, but the jig blew it. It was not the time to begin the begin. It was time for the jig to face facts and come clean. The jig should have quit while it was ahead, but instead the jig had gone too far. And now the jig cannot pretend that things are other than they are. The jig was fun, it had a good run, but look everyone, the jig is done. The jig was once a sprightly little pup, but now it's slow and old and over. Now, my friends, the jig is up. All right, that's it. Thank you. I appreciate you.